Alright, just a moment. Let me start the final mission with Price to go off to Makarov. Let's do this.
You sure this armor will protect us?
It'll buy us time.
Yeah, exactly.
Nikolai, are you patched into the system? Working on it. My Arabic's a little rusty.
Fair enough. Well, I know we're here.
Looks like they know we're here.
I've tapped into their security feed. Makarov's in the atrium on the top floor. This is it. Makarov doesn't leave here alive. Get ready.
Let's go to
This
town.
is for soap. We've got their attention. Second wave of responders will be coming in any moment. Here they come, right on schedule. Shoot the crowd. Makarov's got a small army in there. It won't help him. Take it from the lift, they can't escape.
He said the entire nation to stop Price. Didn't everyone a small army? As a joke. Price. As well with Gaz and the other lots as well, you know. Nothing to get Gaz in that conversation. What a beautiful time.
RPG, second floor! The wheel's coming up! Watch your fire! Nikolai, where's Makarov? Still in the atrium, but he's on the move. Don't lose him, we're almost there!
Yeah.
Down the escalator! Up the escalator!
Yep.
Nikolai, we need control of those lifts! They've almost got it! Push forward!
There we go.
Okay, I've got control of the elevators. Sending them down to your floor.
Okay, nice. Excuse me. No. I'll leave that one unneeded.
The lift's up ahead.
Get a fresh clip in. Nice.
Makarov's moved to the restaurant, same floor. He's got a large security detail with him.
What
When
kind of
doesn't
opposition's
he?
waiting for us?
40+ foot mobiles, SMGs and assault rifles. Enemy chopper closing on your position.
One is heading for the roof. Probably going to Makarov.
Shoot it down! Keep firing!
Nice. Oh crap.
Our armor's shredded!
No kidding. Well, it shouldn't matter anyway.
Nikolai, we need another lift.
Copy, on its way.
Hold much longer. Jump!
Makarov's chopper just touched down. He's heading there now.
He's not getting away.
Be careful. They're setting up barricades.
Of course they are.
Frag out! So Yuri, your armor's gone.
Multiple threats to your right.
Keep pressing with
go, go!
We can't let him escape! Target's behind the blazer! Grenade!
Quick ECDUs, right, put them that way.
You're almost at the restaurant.
Keep pushing forward.
Damn it, I was trying to avoid the frag. Ah.
Keep pressing, we've almost got him! Target's behind the blazer! Can't let him escape!
Trying not to. Nice!
You're almost at the restaurant.
Keep pushing forward! Target's moving out of the arc!
Screw it. Alright. On.
Press this way!
He's still there. You've almost got him.
Go. Got your back, Yuri, don't worry.
There he is! Watch out for that chopper! Rocket!
Oh, crap.
Believe me, don't let him get away!
Understood.
Makarov's heading to the roof. He's dead ahead. Keep running. He's going for the chopper. Run!
Oh, I'm on it, don't worry. Hello, asshole! violent end for a violent person. Pretty fitting, I'd say. Extreme? Well, he was an extremist, so... got what he deserved at the end, I suppose. I mean, just in the way it was done, the extreme mammy, you know? The end fit the profile of the person. Unfortunately, Yuri paid the ultimate price, but we got Makarov in the end. That's what counts. Is this thing gonna let me? Okay. Oh, beautiful. Well, yeah. There's nothing at the end of this, so just, you know, makes it a bit easier for your talkback in case any copyrighted music. I really honestly have no idea, so I never checked, but look, there were a couple of things in this game which I said were like really favorite parts of this game. One was actually, and I think I know it kind of defeats the point because, you know, it's not boots on the ground stuff, but when we're controlling the AC-130, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it's when we were basically up in that plane and we had to use, we were using 3 different types of weapons, 40, a 120, 18, a 40 mil or 20 mil or whatever, whichever way it was, but and we're up in the sky and we're all having to escort, excuse me, metal team who, you know, had Vogue to the, to the LZ, and that's the, for those who don't know, that we were actually firing from an AC-130. So, you know, for those who don't already know, I'm sure there's quite a few who do know, but for those who don't, but because we had that in the first, what was it? I think was it the first or the second Modern Warfare game? I think it could have been the first game. I'm not 100% sure, but it was very limited in terms of, I mean, I don't blame it, but I mean, considering of the Modern Warfare games that I've played, this was the first I went back and played the others. Because this is the time where I was new to the COD series. You know, just played a few games, played 1 or 2, and see, just to get my feet wet, and I found I really enjoyed them. So I went back and started playing them, you know, in reverse order, which I know. Talk about loading a story backwards. I know, incredible. But, you know, I suppose when you use some mechanics in the later games, when you go to earlier games, you sort of think, wow. I mean, you understand the premise of what they were trying to do, but obviously didn't have the controls weren't as good or whatever. But, you know, it really, you know, the controls AC-130, the weapons, the ammo, you know, the aiming, the enemies, you know, just the command, the way they gave orders, it really, it shines through a lot more. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, they were very much in touch in Modern Warfare and, you know, Modern Warfare 2 and all that, but, you know, they went, I think they sort of almost updated. I won't say upgraded. I mean, some things obviously were an upgrade in terms of weapons or, you know, would it be equipment or whatever, but just updated, you know, what they already had, made it better, made it crisper, you know, maybe modified a couple of things in line with the modern stuff back in those days, which was really cool. And it really came to a head. We saw what they were capable of in terms of that game. This is on the PS3, you know, so I mean, the graphics are not meant to be perfect, but they look great. And that's what counts because, you know, not all shooter games have a good story. This does. And for, as far as shooting games are concerned, I mean, you know, I mean, you have characters, but they have a plot where like a story behind it with the characters. You know, I mean, Yuri's character goes all the way back with Makarov to Sakayev, which basically back to the beginning, which is kind of incredible. You know, which really ties in the character and the plot and the story of each of the characters in the franchise itself, which is absolutely fantastic. In all honesty, you know, you have back from and I'm trying to even remember I'm trying to even remember back, but you know, there was people because Soap came originally through in the first game where you met Gaz, Price, and a couple of others, which I can't for the life of me remember their nicknames, but you know, when you got introduced to the SAS, got introduced out those special teams, you know, and you got to learn interact the characters, and you know, Price is saying, "What kind of a name is Soap?" You know, which I don't kind of blame it for saying that, you know, but like, why not just call him McTavish? Why Soap? But you know, I honestly don't remember Soap's first name. You're welcome to remind me in the comments. I'm sure they've said it at one point, but it's just on top of everything else that's blown over my head. And, you know, tragically, Soap passed away and all this sort of thing. You know, Yuri passed away, Sandman, Truck, Grinch, all these people, you know, who, you know, and for those, and I talk about the characters going backwards. It was in the second game where we were, when we were with Captain McTavish, and I've totally forgotten the name of that character in the second game with Gaz and a couple other people. I for the life of me can't remember the guy's name that we were playing as. You're welcome to remind me. I should remember. I played this stupid thing enough times, but when we were going through that, and because you get introduced to, you know, Kamarov, all this, which are links going back to either I think the first game, or there's a reference going back from there, you know, and all the characters that are even tied together in their own way, and they're either links or, you know, things like that about you to the characters. And yeah, because there was a couple of missions where depending on because the AI would, you know, recycle and, you know, bring new players in, you know, just to keep reinforce your AI troops that are with you, AI support troops with you. And a few of them, one was Sandman, the other one was a character I'm certain was in the second. Was that? No, it wasn't the second. It was the first. There was definitely some characters which, you know, we've seen Grinch in I've forgotten which one it is, but you know, there's things where, you know, Grinch and, you know, certainly Price or whatever, they're all involved in other games in that sort of aspect where, you know, they have leading roles or their consultancy roles, and it really shows how widespread the plot is for Call of Duty, and I think that's kind of awesome. There is a story there with the characters there and the plot and, you know, the way to interact, which is, it's subtle as much as it is, you know, I mean, I say subtle in your face in the sense that they, you know, they don't make it overcome the entire game in terms of that sort of subtlety, but they do put it in your face because it's a shooter game, you need to interact with radios and all that sort of stuff, but you know, it doesn't mean I have to go overboard. And in my opinion, they never did go overboard in this series. They, you know, I mean, they put stuff in your face because that's just, I mean, you know, with Gaz, with Sandman, with Kamarov, you know, with Makarov, all these people, you know, who are in your face type of character, the personality and Price and all that. But the way they do it is they use the traits and character of that person to, you know, emphasize a point and follow along with that in a subtle way, so that you have those moments, those characters where you get reintroduced, or you have those dialogue, which, you know, it just flows nicely with the game, and you know, and if you understand the series and the whole plot behind the characters, you know, it gives you, it's really pleasing. It brings a smile to your face. You think, yeah, fantastic, you know. But if you're not bothered, then it's there, but it's not shove it in your face style. I mean, sure, the cameos and the first appearance and the old wording will sure shove it in your face. I mean, That's you know, I mean, what Makarov, Gaz, Price, and you know, other people. What, they're not going to shove their personality in your face? Are you kidding me? Hell yeah, the blunt as hell. I mean, Kamarov, yes, is very blunt, yes, but that's why I mean he shoves his own opinion in your face. But Price is his own style. Gaz, unfortunately, who got killed in the last game, he had a personality of himself, and he's very memorable. He may not be overall one of the most remembered characters, but god damn, does he make a name for himself in the second game. And, you know, sometimes it's a shame these characters aren't carried through, and, you know, but it's one of those things that this entire, call it a mini-series of the entire Call of Duty franchise is very respected, well-loved, you know, which you can't say for a lot of shooting games. You know, I mean, especially ones that trail off, do this, do that, do the other. I mean, sure, don't get me wrong. There are, you know, 2 or 3 shooter game series which really do put themselves on the map. But, you know, it's one thing to have a really damn good shooter game. It's another to have a shooter game which a good story, or one that has, it's a terrible shooting game but it's got a good story. It's something else to have both. You know, and okay, it's not RPG level story, but you're not expecting that. You know, especially if you, and it's one of those things that, you know, when you understand what type of story these games are going to give you, you realize the how deep this story goes and the level of substance which this franchise, at least this mini franchise, the Modern Warfare series has, which it has a great deal of substance. You know, they were really, I've always loved the weapons in this game. They've certainly evolved over the 3 games. You know, they've been in Modern Warfare, the one that released 2019, I want to say. My memory's going to fade on that one. I'm pretty sure it's, but you know, there are all sorts of links to also all sorts of other games, you know, in that respect. And I think, was it even Call of Duty? Was it Black Ops 2 or 3 what they made mention or made a reference to maybe other characters or possible identities? Might get mixed up. But I certainly know in Call of Duty World, you know, Black Ops Cold War, sorry, you know, they introduced Sakayev, and I for one was never expecting. Now I'm thinking, oh, you know, but it made sense. It ties the whole thing in together really beautifully in that sense, you know. And when you link other characters, but when you see that picture of him being so influential, it makes you realize, like, wow, everything is connected. Which not all, there aren't that many shooting game series that can pull that off, you know. And even when they're not most obviously connected, it's the characters that connect it, which is such a good thing at times. It's fine to have characters that link a series together and a whole franchise together in its own way, rather than just certain sequences, unless they're tied to a particular character. But, you know, I really did enjoy this game. I enjoyed all 3 of them. But I started with this game over, I don't even remember when. it was after it came out. I think it might have been 2, maybe 3 years after it came out. And, you know, I kind of was, I wasn't really expecting that much, because I remember that I played 1 or 2 Battlefield games, because I was getting my feet wet in the series, didn't know much about it. I thought, let's give it a try. Wow. It was such an experience, you know, and I absolutely loved it. And, you know, and it made me, in the whole debate of Battlefield versus COD. And straight away, as soon as I finished this game for the first time, I'm like, COD all the way. Don't get me wrong. Excuse me. Battlefield has made a couple of really good games. They actually have. You can't fault them. I think it was it Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, possibly? Or was it just Battlefield 5? And I think one other one that's not popping into my head. But what I'm saying is that, you know, Battlefield always, but it's a lot of people, and a lot of COD, a lot of shooting, and a lot of people who are COD fans will say this, that Battlefield was constantly playing catch-up game to the COD series. But in one of the last games they put out, by comparison, they really stepped up the game. They surprised a lot of people. Because I played the game and think, there's not much coming out this year in shooting games. I'll give it a try. wow, was I shocked. Because they stepped up the game. And you wondering why I'm saying this in terms, I'm just saying for comparison in terms of, you know, the standard that you would expect from a game keeps, the ante keeps getting upped. And this game, in my opinion, did deliver on that in that respect, you know, and COD games keep delivering. I mean, okay, not all of them are perfect, not all of them always give you exactly what you want the way you want, don't get me wrong, but for what you're wanting, in terms of initially, certainly with COD games, in terms of just for a set string of use of games, certainly with the Modern Warfare and the Black Ops to some degree, and all the, well, at least the first two and all that sort of stuff, you know, you get what you're asking for, especially as a COD fan, and that's what I do love about these games. That what you're not sort of hoping with some sort of expectations, but you get what you ask for. You know, you get what you're hoping for. You get an experience. You get to enjoy it. You know, you get different weapons. You have to, you know, sure, okay, you can't customize your weapons, but you got plenty of weapons lying around that you can swap over, get your ammo. You know, you've got good stories, some good cutscenes. You know, I mean, I'm no military person, but it, from my understanding, they did a pretty good job emulating, you know, the type of military communication they use on a battlefield. Probably not exactly. Maybe they probably weren't allowed to, but I'd say they did a pretty damn good job for the time. You know, which gives you a really properly good immersion into it, which is really important with shooter games. You know, because especially with the standard that's implied, and and when you deliver it to I mean, okay, I understand people are probably military watching and thinking, or ex-military, whichever way, and I'm thinking they didn't get that close, but they were they were going the right direction, is what I'm saying, if nothing else. And, you know, it's really good when a game can deliver it to that standard, at least, you know, they can deliver something that is going in the right direction, even if they can't get it perfect. At least if you know they're trying, and they deliver something that's actually quite good. Maybe not exactly the same, but it's well thought out. You know, it gives you a really good sense of immersion in a game. Then you're doing a pretty damn good job. Even if you can't get it exactly right, which is absolutely fine in my opinion. So, but yeah, look, yeah, this I really do love some of the cutscenes, the banter between the characters. You know, I've got a terrible habit of doing plenty of friendly fire, so I'm so guilty of that. And my God, to the enemy keep on tricking me with frags. Oh, I fall so victim to the old frag trick. Ah, dearie me. To be fair, I think I'm just a bit hasty sometimes. I mean, I'm trying to go in the flow of the gas. So oh shit, there's a frag. I turn around, it just explodes as I'm about to run away from it. Like, it's so typical. Kind of a meme for me at this point, but it is what it is. I'm not overly that fussed, to be fair. So hey, I really don't care to some extent. But it's one of those things where, you know, it's that point where I can have a laugh at my own extent, like thinking, "Yep, here we go again." Because sometimes they just do these at the instances where frags are RPGs or whatever, you know, or enemies coming from behind. Like, I legitimately just don't expect it. It's like, holy shit, they got from behind? I just have to sit there and laugh. It's like, yep, well, that had to happen sometime. It's at a point where we don't have to laugh. It's like I can't go through a single playthrough without either almost killing an ally by pure accident, or getting myself killed by an enemy coming from behind me and knocking me on the head. So, which I know seems kind of awful, but I just see the funny side of it. It's like, it's either just because I'm just too hasty, or, you know, I'm just trying to coordinate with the enemies, and suddenly, you know, when we're paying so much attention to what's in front of us, we completely forget what's behind us, you know. We pay the price, you know. It's why it's a good job why it's a game and not real life. Otherwise, we'd suck. I'd suck completely if that was the case. And I admit it. I admit it. You know. But hey, that's That's why you can enjoy these games, have a bit of a laugh at the end of it as well. And as much as you get immersed and get all, you can have a laugh. Think, yep, it's happened again, and I think that's part another aspect of enjoying it as well. So, but yeah, I know waffled on, but yeah, look, the characters, I really enjoyed them. I think it's a shame that the characters were killed off, but I honestly don't know if that was intentional, just them readying to go through with something else to that aspect or whatever, however they did it, whether it was just, we want to get rid of these characters in that natural sense, really tragic though, so we can bring in a new style of game. Whether that was the intention, I honestly don't know. Maybe not. I know game companies do that. They write it and say, oh yeah, we need to bring in a brand new style of game for this series. Let's just kill off all these characters, quote unquote, naturally, But, I mean, it's tragic, but I suppose that also makes a game series like this, especially Modern Warfare and things like, especially, I suppose, more than anything, the first two Black Ops games. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Black Ops 3 had its own connections, but saying the first two Black Ops games and the three Modern Warfare, even Call of Duty World at War, they are very iconic within Call of Duty series. At least in my opinion. I know a lot of people feel that, especially the first one, even the second one, Black Ops, is very iconic. It's very symbolic to the Call of Duty franchise, but certainly the Modern Warfare series is very, very iconic. It's almost like a symbol towards it, which is important, because it's what you can say. It's not like a brand. It's like a branding. So I think, here's what we're known for. Here's what we're damn good at. This is what we can do. And that's fantastic, honestly, that's what I grew up eventually playing, and I don't regret it. I mean, it might have been a little bit annoying at times on the missions, but overall, I really do enjoy COD games. There's the odd Battlefield game, which I do enjoy, but yeah, I'm certainly a COD fan, and I will say that as a COD fan, that there are one or two games in the Battlefield series which are actually quite good for the story and the gameplay mechanics, but overall, I absolutely side for COD. COD's got to have a terrific collapse in their gameplay for other people to catch up. I mean, to be fair, I should say that I'm for the PS3, PS4, PS5 generation, all this sort of stuff. I have recently actually managed to get myself an Xbox Series X, because there are other titles on Xbox I've always wanted to play, but because I never got into the Xbox Series, so it's backwards compatible, so I can play Xbox 360, Xbox One games, the series that I've always wanted to try and always wanted to play because they look absolutely awesome. And, so a couple of them are shooting games, other games look really cool, but they never change the platform. Or they're on PC, but, I do other types of games on PC. That's why I'm the PlayStation person. So, it's one of those things where I've gone along as much as being restricted, I don't mind, because it allows me just to enjoy the series that I've grown up with and played so many times and get so much enjoyment out of them, and this game series is absolutely one of those, and I don't regret that at all, those people grow up with Halo who really enjoy it, they'll say the same thing about that, and totally respect that, because that's what you grow up with. But anyway, I'll end it here. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the wild ride that this game was. Very interesting. A few laughs here and there at my expense. And enjoyed the characters. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, your iconic figures. Rest in peace. And that goes through the whole of the Modern Warfare series, not just this game in particular. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for all the support you show on the series. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you next time for a brand new Let's Play. Or at least a new Let's Play in general. Take care, everyone.